Hey guys, Lucky Star Shi-Roku here, and welcome to a little mini channel update video. So basically, I'm making a little bit of a video here just for a minor change that's happening on the channel currently. So over the last few days or so, in the background, I have been working on a slight little update coming to the thumbnails, which I'm going to talk a little bit about in this video in greater detail. So this is what I've got so far for the design. Some of these are finalized, some of these may be subject to change. I'm pretty happy with this one, but some of these I have done variants for all the different platforms. Some of them are finalized, some may be subject to change here and there, which I'll discuss a bit more in detail. But this is what I got. So again, so this is a bit different. So I've got the obviously the banner at the top is a little bit different from what it used to be, which again I'll discuss in a minute. But this is a rough idea of what the thumbnail template's going to be like. So as you can see here, I've got the basic border, I've got the number plate, then I've got the actual banner for the system, which is now its own separate thing, the game title, my OC, and then just the basic border. So there's a couple reasons I've done this. One of the main reasons is just so it's presented a little bit better in the Let's Play notes, the new Let's Play notes I'm doing digitally. So okay, so it's partly so it looks better there, but there is another reason for it, which I will go into more detail here. Okay, so now let's go into a little bit here. Okay, so this is basically the new platform banner. As you can see, I've got a before and after kind of shot. So if you look here on your bit bad with left and right, but hang on, left, right. If you look on the right where it says before, so you can see the old one there. So that's what it was before, with the obviously everything being transparent and it just being there with the glow and shadow effects. I mainly changed this just because some of these I wasn't really that happy with. Like, I mean, not so much. I think this is the biggest example. There were probably others where I just personally feel like that the glow or the shade effect just didn't work all that well. Whereas I think this new version, I think it looks better. It's I definitely think it looks more accurate to the actual platform compared to the original version. Like the original version, was just transparent, and I don't always feel like the shadow effect worked all that well. Whereas I basically made the new one. Well, you'll see what I did, but yeah, the before and then after. I just think this new version looks a lot better. It complements it a lot more, and I think it looks a little more authentic to the actual platform design, which, in hindsight, I probably should have done in the beginning, but I didn't have the foresight to do it back then. Otherwise, I probably would. But, oh well. You live, you learn. We make mistakes and we improve upon them. Okay, let's have a little look here. This is how everything is looking. So, as you can see here, I have separated before the actual banner, the actual system banner. Was a part of the actual system, whereas now I've made them more separate. I made them more like separate entities, which sure, it does give me a little bit more work during the actual creation process, but it's not that big of a deal, since all that stuff is done. All that is usually done months in advance anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Sure, it's an extra step, but oh well. Okay, so basically, as you can see here, I've got all the systems. So we've got the OG Xbox, the 360, the Xbox One, the Series S and S. Yeah. So that's basically how that is looking. That's for the Xbox. And then we've got the Nintendo main consoles, the Nintendo handhelds, PC. Again, I'll go on more to detail about this a bit later on. There's the PlayStation, and yeah, that's all that. Okay, so basically this is how it looks now. Each individual one, I decided to just have a rough idea of what it should look like. So again, before, all of the banners were all like see-through, and it didn't always translate that well. Like, I went with it initially just because, you know, I was a lot more ambitious back then, whereas now I'm thinking, that didn't really look that good. And thankfully, you didn't really see much of it, because I didn't really get to the point of using some of them that stood out to me that didn't look too great. Like, yes, you saw a little bit with the Switch, which I will, of course, this does mean I do have to go back through all of my Let's Plays I've done so far and update the thumbnails, which is going to be interesting. It always is whenever I have to update this, and I had to literally go back and I had to download all the Mad Father thumbnails because I apparently deleted them. Yeah, note to self, do not delete your thumbnails, keep them around just in case you need to do stuff like this. It's a huge pain otherwise, but it's going to be a bit of a pain, but oh well. So again, that's the OG Xbox. I think it looks a lot better than, yeah, it looks, I think having the border behind it actually looks a lot better. It complements it a lot more, and it looks more authentic to the actual system. So that's the OG Xbox 360, really like that one. Xbox One, I was going to go with the green background, but it blended in too much. I think it blended in a bit too much with the actual Xbox, the actual border, so yeah, oh well. The Xbox Series, I quite like that one as well. Maybe it could have went with the black, I don't know. Again, all of this, some of these may be subject to change depending on what happens, so again, some of them, the ones I'm happy with are finalized. For example, the 360 one is finalized. The Xbox One and Series S and X, I'm not sure, that may be subject to change. We'll see what happens. Then we go on to PlayStation. Again, it kind of blends in, but at the same time, not too much. At least not as bad as what this would have. This, I think, it works. Like, yes, it's black. Yes, it's dark, but it doesn't blend in entirely like what this did, so maybe it'll work. Again, it may be subject to change, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, there's PlayStation 1, PS2. Yes, I know that's not the actual one, but I went with a more modernized version of the PS2 logo just because I think it looks better. PS3, PSP, PS Vita. I decided to go with, like, the black for the original ones and then blue for the new one just because I think it looks better. So PS Vita, PS4, PS5, then we go to the Nintendo, so we got Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, then we go to the main console for the Nintendos. Not really sure how often we're going to be seeing these because I actually have very little interest in the classic Nintendos at the moment, but I decided to make these just in case because you never know. So we got the NES, the Super Nintendo, the N64, the GameCube. A lot of these I did actually base on the actual banners from on the boxes and stuff. So I used all those old images and the banners on the game boxes for reference for some of these, so I think they turn out pretty well. And again, try to make them as authentic as possible. The Wii, again, this is one where I think it works out better because before it was just the banner wasn't there, and I had to use the shade effect, which didn't always work that well. I personally think it looks a lot better overall. Wii U, I showed that a little earlier. Again, think it looks better, particularly for the Wii U. Switch, and also with the Switch 2 just being announced, I also made one of these. So just a little tidbit that you might find interesting. anytime a new console is announced, as soon as there are graphics and stuff available, I usually end up making a new controller prompt and thumbnail border as soon as it's available. Just try to stay ahead of the game. Again, I don't know how often I'll be using these, but whenever something is announced, a new console is announced, I always try to make a new Let's Play border and controller, just in case. Trying to stay ahead of everything. So yeah, I made one for the Switch too. Not really sure if it's going to be like the Switch or if it's a successor to the Switch. I know very little about it, but well, either way, I made this and just try it like a Switch successor. Okay, now moving on to the PC. So basically, a bit of a difference here, because before I just branded PC as just one thing overall, whereas here I've decided to actually categorize things a little better. I've actually been wanting to do this for a long time, but there's too much nuance to it. But now I've actually found a decent way of doing it. So basically, PC CD/DVD-ROM is basically for any old school PC game that was originally on a disc. Yeah, so basically non-Steam, any game that was on a disc. So like the Jimmy Neutron games, the Harry Potter games, and just games like that were on a disc initially. That's going to be classed as here. Steam, I decided to put the PC just as a branding kind of thing, just so you know that it's on a PC for people who are less familiar with Steam and stuff. And PC download is basically for anything that's in some form of a download. So whether I got the game for free as a download, or whether it's on Patreon or Subscriber Star or whatever site it was. If I downloaded it, again, Minecraft, I know that's a game you buy, but again, too much nuance. So basically, anything that's not Steam, anything that you download that's not Steam or a disc, this is what I'm classing. I know there's a bit more to it, but it just saves making a whole bunch of things for like Game Jolt and other stuff like that. It categorizes things and just makes things a bit more simpler. And then there's just the basic PC one, which I'm not sure if I'm going to still use, but I decided to have it just in case. You never know. Like, this is just basically a default kind of thing. I don't know. Well, I don't know if I'm going to use this anymore, but I suppose time will tell. Okay, now let's have a little idea. So this is a rough idea of what the thumbnails are going to look like from now on going forward. So this is how a PC CD-ROM Let's Plays are going to look. Again, with the border at the top, the PC CD-ROM. Not much different. It's literally just that one. It's literally just that one little change. So very, very subtle, but it's subtle but also noticeable. Subtle but also substantial, I think. So yeah, that's that. There's the Steam one. I'm pretty happy with a lot of this. Like this, I'm pretty happy with. And then obviously there's the Switch. I think it looks pretty cool. PS3, yep, definitely think that works. This is a rough idea of what Xbox might look like. And then there's the PC download. Again, anything that's on a download to some degree, whether it's Subscribe Star, whether it's a Patreon, whether it's something else, anything that's not Steam or a disc is. I know there's a lot of grey area there, but it's just what I'm deciding to do. It just saves having more than what's necessary. Okay, and something else I did in addition to that is basically I also changed the extra here. As you can see on the before one, that's what the extras used to look like the extra banner, and that's obviously there's the new one. I basically just changed it to have the new fonts basically, because the old one was using my old channel font, and I'm just trying to update as much as I can. It took me a while to realize that I was like, oh right, that was using that font too. So I'm just, again, I completely forgot just how many of my assets actually use that old font, and actually when find that font to make that, I actually had a little panic attack because I couldn't actually find the new font. I was thinking, oh, please tell me they didn't take it down, but no, I found it. I just had to look in the 3D section. So yay. So yeah, that's the new look. I also took out the kanji just because I didn't think it was necessary anymore. It was just, I mean, it was just a cool little Easter egg before, but not really that necessary, and I'm a little bit too lazy to go back and translate all that. So it's just, it doesn't need to be there. It was a cool little Easter egg before, but now, it's not necessary. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Okay, and that's gonna about do it for this little informational video. Again, very, very minor. I just wanted to make a quick little video talking about these few changes. Again, they're very minor, but at the same time, I felt like the need to talk about just to keep you in the loop of what's going on. But anyway, that's where I'm going to leave this video for now. So as always, thank you guys for watching, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, if you're new, make sure to subscribe, turn notifications, and with all that said, I will see you guys in the next video.